Hang on. It'll either work or it won't. Yes, it's working. I'm just watching my stream monitor over there. Sigh. Game sound looks a little high to me. Let's bring that down a little. Is that better? I think that's better. All right, we're going to be doing Linke Rheinstrecke Mainz Koblenz today. Hello, Michael Newbury. Hello, Dave Randall. Hello, Metra212 Productions. Hello, Yoinka McScoinka. Hello, Michael Newbury. Oh, I've said you twice. Hello, Caleb, without using your last name. Hello, Mr. Dark. And LaserJet8909 Overshoots. Good stuff. Welcome. Alrighty, what are we doing today? Oh yeah, Linke Rheinstrecke. Just gives another chance for Lexic Dark to make fun of my German, because I don't have any. We're going to start with some freight, because freight was so popular last time. It surprised me, but we're going to start with some freight. We're going to start with 69750. Part 1. We're going to run all 3 parts throughout the day, but we're going to do 1 and 2, and we'll come back to part 3 later on. And we're doing this in June because it's early in the morning and we want to be able to see it. And we're going to have some rain. Why not a little bit of rain? Off we go. Thank you, Michael. Michael says the sound is working. That is good. We are in the BR110 in its, what do they call this? Orient Red. I kind of call it pink. Let's just call it pink and be done with it. And we appear to have a whole bunch of freight wagons. And they're interesting German ones because, you know, instead of having tarpaulins or whatever, they have these massive steel covers that slide back and forth. And I did notice the other day, they actually have the manifest in here now, which is kind of cool. They still use Lincoln pin and buffers. And it looks like that's all we've got. Ouch. Just ran into a station. What's that? That's one of those green things. I'll get in that later. Alright, back in the 110. Let's get this thing set up and ready to roll. And into forwards. Brake key. Something else I have to do down here somewhere. No. Sure there is. Should already be closed. That should be fine. We have got line voltage. The only other thing is PZB. I'm not going to turn on CIFA because it's annoying. Yeah. PZB. There we go. No point turning on LZB because we haven't got any. And it looks like we have a green to go. So put our wipers on. Little switch here somewhere. There it is. Put our left wiper on too. Why not? When they're not running, you can beat them around manually too. And we have our dreaded tap wheel. I was working. Good sign. Brakes off. Is this brake off as well? It is. Is this one off? No, it's in hold. Got that in release. Okay, let's give this a crack. Sing. Objective complete, apparently. Well, that was early. Wren's Siding 3, 8.6 kilometres. Lexic Dark apparently is going to give me a break. My Heritage's original East Ender. Strange creature. Pantographs up, good sign. It's another 110 sitting up there, isn't it? So, Nidlertabahn. Niedertalbahn. That's it, Niedertalbahn. Thursday. You may have noticed a new stream's just gone ready into the calendar. It was already there, but it was not public. Where's my BZB keyboard? There it is. It's hiding behind the quiz. We do have a quiz today, as usual. Hopefully it'll be fun. Do I get rid of the Hudley thing? Yes, let's get rid of the Hudley thing. Let's try and survive without it. Maybe it'll work. Beep. That beep happens every time you cross 30 kilometres an hour. I couldn't tell you why it happens, it just does. It's probably like the way Airbus planes abuse their pilots just as they're coming into landing when it goes, retard, retard. It's an old joke. Someone had to use it. How is everyone today? I'm still having my breakfast. Like I said, running late. So I haven't even had the cup of espresso yet. Slow down to 85. We're not even there yet. Lights are a bit bright, aren't they? And the panel could do a little toning down. I wonder if they'll tone down. No, that one doesn't have the Ring of Doom. May as well coast down the hill. The plane at least says it in a French accent, so it's friendly, it's polite. Safe to release, apparently. Not sure if I believe that, though. Do it anyway. Game told me it's okay. All good. Michael's doing okay, that's good to see. If you've got this route, what are you enjoying about it? And if you don't have it, and you don't need to tell me if it's just something doesn't interest you, but if you don't have it, what's holding you back? What would change your mind? What could we look at? Coming down to 40 kilometres an hour. And that signal looks slightly red, so hopefully there's a shunting signal down there as well as the red ones. Because the HUD says it's green. I'm going to go through it anyway. Actually, I don't think there's a signal on this track. I think the signal is for the other track. Michael says, so far driving the 103 has been fun. Patriotal says 61. I understand. Says money. I understand that. Games are expensive. Even cool games are expensive. Oops, not that much. That will go bang. Well, we survived that. So no signal for us. Good. It does look like yellow down there though, but it still says green. I'll never pretend to understand German signals, I really won't. That's why I keep that. Oh, there we go, that's why. Going on to the other track. That makes sense. I have to say the services on this route are on a par with scenarios on some of the other routes. Quite a few of the scenarios have things like track changes and the like. We would all come over. Nice view of the river. I don't know about you, but it just always reminds me of a centipede. Or maybe a millipede. Probably a millipede. We arrived back in the cab then to the sound of a circuit breaker blowing, but I still have line voltage and I still have power on the tap. I do believe we found a bug, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try that again. Let's see if we come back. Let's see if it goes thud when I come back. Yep, it does. That would be a bug. Hello, Tom Frisco. Beep. Happy St. Patrick's Day for the other day for the Irish among us. I was up in a regional town for the first part of the weekend. I took a day off on Friday and went up to Bendigo. And friends of ours who live across the road who are Irish, well the girl is anyway, the boy's not. I got sent a picture, or invited to come and get a Guinness, so I just sent a picture of me holding up a pot of beer in front of my other half from the table in Bendigo where we were sitting, and got back a picture of Hannah holding a beer going, this one's for you. So, fair enough. Do that later today. Have I been released from the 40? Am I being naughty? I have been released from the 40. I'm not being naughty, it's okay. Dave Randall says, can only afford one DLC this month, so waiting to see if Midland Mainline comes out this month. Oh, we shall have to see. I haven't actually been in the beta world this week because there's been so much other stuff going on, and it does take me about 2.5 hours to switch from either beta to preview, which I was in up until Friday morning, or public, which I'm in Friday morning and today. So I don't tend to switch back and forth very much when there's lots of releases happening. So I don't actually know the current state of the stuff that's coming out. I know it was slated to come out before the next roadmap, but we shall have to wait and see. There's a lot goes into making one of these routes. That's why we've got a couple of flat wheels going past there. They might want to go in for some maintenance. Should we blow the horn? Should we do the German thing? Or not do the German thing? Ah, let's blow the squeaker. German trains do only have squeakers. I like the colours on the Midland Main Line. That's a very bold branding set. You could never say you didn't see the train if it ran over you at a level crossing. Very, very colourful. Couple of Ks to Rennes. It's a good thing the HUD's there. Or we'd be stopping about now. Is that bud every time we come in? I will report that. Actually, let me just write that down so I don't forget to report it. Stick that over there so I can see it later and it will remind me to log the report. Not that it's a particularly important one. I just looked up there and saw restricted and reacted and pressed the button, but I didn't actually need to. I'll need to press the button in a moment though. Will I? Has this got a magnet? Yes, it does. I did like Matt's description of Niddeltalbahn. Like West Somerset, but fun. What does that say? Maybe we should get into the quiz. What do you think? This route in Train Sim World 3 is set in the 1990s. When did the BR-103, the flagship on this route, first come into service? Revenue service, I'll say. So don't worry about test trains or anything like that. I think I braked a little bit too much. Because we're going so slowly. Let's go and visit the people. Hi, how are you? That's a freight train, so you can't get on, sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. Come over this side for. G'day, how you doing? Sorry, it's a freight train. You can't get on this one. First aid kit's missing. Do you want to go get one? It's just in the cupboard down there. I can't do it because I'm not actually here. Sorry. See ya. Writing points. Patriotal61 says, West Somerset is fun if you ignore the speed limit. I agree. I usually do it at about 50 mile an hour, but the problem with that is you end up waiting for a train that's doing 20. Dave Randall for the win on the first quiz question, and I don't even have a bit of paper to write down people's names and points on. How good am I? So organised today. 500 metres to go. I'm trying to pay attention to that and do this. So Dave Randall is first out of the gate. Well done, sir. It is 1970. Michael Dewberry's offered some extra detail of May 1970. What do you think, chat? Do we give Michael points as well? I won't always ask that, but, you know. Let's give it a crack today. See what people think. I was starting to brake and I looked at how slow I was going and went, nah, I shouldn't do that. The chat loves you, Michael. Well, I think one of my cats clearly loves me. It just came in here, sat down near my feet, fortunately on a plastic mat, and vomited. So if you see me bend down, that's what I'll be cleaning up. How can they not indeed, Michael? Michael's been here forever. Got red lights on? I don't think so. They're just flickering. Weirdness. Maybe they're reflecting the red light from the signal. Oh, I should probably think about stopping this thing, shouldn't I? Be a pretty good way to start with a spad, wouldn't it? 10 metres? That's enough. Objective complete. Wait for a moment. Now, I'm going to run the next part of this, but what I don't know is, can I just go straight into it? I think there's a bit of a delay because it's 5:45, and I think the next one was about 6:15 or something. I have to say, I'm not a fan of the wait for a moment thing at the end of a service. Just end the service, get it over with. Because I think, yep. See, why couldn't they have just done that? Why make you sit there? But anyway, bronze. Aww. Alright, let's do the next bit. We don't want to do that one. No, so if we go to free roam, I think it's about 20 minutes before that service actually leaves. So let's just go back and run the next part of it from here, because that will be quicker. 10. I think I'd know how to use the UI by now, wouldn't you? 69750. And we want part 2. Actually 10 minutes. I would have been sitting there for 10 minutes. So this is a better choice. And for a bit of variety, let's run it in July, and we'll run clear, and we'll see where dynamic weather takes us. Actually, maybe an early morning mist. Yes, an early morning mist. Misty. That's what we want. Michael is also not a big fan of waiting around at the end of a service. I find it a bit strange. I don't know why you'd have to. 685 real tonnes, not American short tonnes. Now, the only disadvantage of not waiting that 10 minutes is you have to do all this again. But that's okay. No, not that one. That one. And we didn't have to do anything over there, did we? It was all set up already. We just have to do PZB up here. Wait a moment. 2 minutes. Ooh. That's the train from the platform. I do appreciate that they break the services up now, so if you want to sit here for 10 minutes waiting for the other train, you can sit here for 10 minutes waiting for the other train. I like the mist. I'd like to get out of the trees. But if you don't like the mist, or don't like the 10 minutes, you can just skip it. So I do like that. That's cool. I think we've got everything set up. Have to test the horn, of course. Hello, Ryan King. Welcome. Time for question 2. I shouldn't keep giving the questions numbers because I haven't numbered them all. This one's multiple choice. I thought it would be easier if it was multiple choice. Which cities in real life are connected by Linke Rheinstrecke? A. Frankfurt and Cologne. B. Berlin and Munich. C. Hamburg and Dusseldorf. Are you in the mist, Lexic Dark? It's not really here. It's certainly overcast. does look cold out there. I didn't actually look at our little weather station thing to see what it looked like outside. Perhaps I can consult the Goog. The Goog suggests it's 16 outside. I mean, wait for a moment. The signal's green. I want to go. Dave Randall first out of the gate with an A. And that is correct. In fact, it is linking Frankfurt and Cologne. Or if I was being a bogan Aussie, Cologne. He's definitely A, folks, but that's why I made that one a multiple choice, because it's not actually all that clear. Okay, we can go. Brakes off. A horny action. Even though Germans don't do that, we'll just pretend they do. Ooh, not 7. No, 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 that would be bad. Ooh, save that just in time. Tricky rail driver. Ryan King suggests to beware of the mist if Stephen King makes the moot. Probably want to watch out for balloons and clowns too. One of the routes has got red balloons, actually, thinking about it. Which one is it? I'm not sure. One of them's got red balloons, I'm sure of it. And Ryan King wants to know what the options again. I think we finished that question now, Ryan. Unfortunately, chat is about 22 seconds behind me talking. So if you need to know it again, ask quick. That's skirting with danger. You need to keep this power meter under 60 so you don't blow the circuit breaker, and that got very close. I also need to watch my speed because I'm being monitored on PCB, which means I have to stay below 45 kilometers an hour. But let's go to the back of the train and watch it cruise through the points because it's fun. Whoop, just made it just in time to see it actually happen. Back to the front. Clunk goes the MCB. Ooh, gratuitous bridge shot. Must do it. Must do it. Pretty piss weak bridge, but, you know, it's got to be done. Safe to release. I always think TSW looks a little less game-like in mist. Mist and rain. Dave Randall says, don't tell me about it, I hate clouds, thanks to Stephen King. NTP has a hot air balloon. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it could be the one I'm thinking of. Actually, another one's got balloons. Birmingham's got balloons too. Lexic Duck says, thanks Ryan, especially since there was a 1 AM drive up into the neighbours, 2 shots fired, some loud talking, and they drove off. We just had a bunch of kids running around in the street playing games. My wife went out and yelled at them. Just like that. She was trying to go to sleep. Grumpy. And I, of course, made myself really unpopular by going, they're just playing. That got me the side eye. That's okay, as they say. I think we're allowed to do 100 kilometres an hour as a freight, so let's ramp it up. Castle has balloons as well. Excellent. You do live in the country though, Lexic Dark. You know, shots fired, it's kind of like saying hello. Just drive up and shoot at your house. Because it's quicker than coming in to say hi. Keep powering her up. I think that's all of our taps. Skirting the dangerous 60 again. We will survive. Nightbot's jumped in to say hello. You wouldn't want to stand that close to a freight train. Something might whack you. Sounded quite good. Just back off now, because we're only supposed to do 100 as a freight. We're just a tad over. Heading for Wurlau. Shall we go for question 3? What is the literal translation of Linke Rheinstrecke? Train. Nice 103. Quite an enjoyable machine to drive as a player. That's why I don't turn C4 on, by the way. So I can bring you drive-by shots like that. Because if I do that with C4 turned on and I don't notice it, we'll end up stopped. Dave Randall says West Rhine. Patriotal61 says next to the river. Dave Randall says left bank. Ryan King, my big exciting adventure lately was my first trip to Toronto in a decade and the first time in the TTC subway since I was a young lad. That's cool. Left bank of the Rhine. Yes, Ryan King has the complete answer and gets his first points. That is what I was looking for. And do you know why it's important to differentiate the left and right banks? It's not actually a question, but if you know, I'll give you points. The good thing about mixing up some German content, by the way, is generally people like NGTE, who does have a horrible habit of getting on top with American content. I shouldn't say horrible habit. He has a good habit of getting on top with American content because he's smart and he knows a lot of stuff. But he doesn't tend to inhabit the German streams, so he misses out. And other people can catch up with him. You can walk along that path, by the way, just saying. Goes quite a long way. That's correct, Dave Randall. There are different lines. There actually is a right Rhine railway as well. I reckon I'll give you points for that. Why not? Yeah, we're already doing below that limit, so that's fine. And I'll probably have to acknowledge a 100 sign up here somewhere. I know I've got a red signal coming up, but, you know, shouldn't be watching the HUD. It should change anyway, because the other train should have left the station by now. So it'll probably change before I get there, I think, if I go slow enough. Just see how we go. Brian King says former East and West Germany. I'm actually not sure where the border was. I'm geographically challenged. Ask my geography teacher from many years ago. Still got a red down there. We pass through station 23. platforms 2 and 3. I'll just passing on a warning for a friend. If you follow Colonel Failure, which I know many people do, he's an excellent human being because I know him from the inner workings of Dovetail. There is someone masquerading as him that tries to get you out of the YouTube environment onto Telegram. That's what I thought. I thought we would go green. I still can't speed up too much until we actually get to the green signal, but I can start accelerating. If you get pinged by the real Colonel Failure, let's just say it isn't. It's a scammer. Going through Boppard Hochbahnhof. Remember that game Simon where it would flash lights and you had to press buttons in the right order? It should have been called Boppard. In Australia it was called Boppet. But Boppard would have been a better name. That would have been a cool name for it. Off we go again to Wurlau. We should be allowed to speed up now. Everything stopped flashing. It should be all happy. And the sun's coming out. Isn't that nice? And general consensus is that the Rhine did split Germany. It's cool. Dave Randall says he has no excuse not to get points on the Midland mainline stream, as you live at the north end of it. Excellent. The home advantage is always good. I better make sure my answers are right then, hadn't I? It's always a little bit challenging to put together quiz questions that aren't too easy to Google, that you can still actually find the answers for. I've even taken to pasting the questions into ChatGPT to see what answers it comes up with. And I have to say, it's wrong a lot of the time. It's quite interesting. Given that people have started to depend on it for their homework, I think they're being a little foolish because it's not correct quite a lot. Probably about 30 to 40% of the time it's not right. Nice shadow action there. Now we have another red coming up in a little while. No great surprise there. We're following another train. Just decelerate now and keep it about the 100 mark. And Patriola 61, yes, bop it, twist it, flick it, pass it. Exactly. Dave Randall suggests I check the questions with him first. I could. I don't think I will. So that might give you just a slight advantage in the next week. Ooh, that red's only 600 metres away. And I'm still doing 80 kilometres an hour. I had better pull my digit out. Interesting, I'm reacting to a signal that I can't even see on the screen yet. Oh, there it is. Be all good. Ah, bastard. We're going to come to a stop. Just as the signal went green. That's okay. Brakes have almost finished coming off. Tell that because the brake pipe pressure is getting up on the 5 bar mark, and the yellow needle down there has dropped back to 0. So as the brakes in the train release, because I did give it a fairly heavy application then, we will start to move. Tiny bit more power. Ooh, that might be too... Ooh, no, we're getting away with it. I'm just going to leave that handle alone now and hope the rail driver doesn't do its skip a notch thing. Taking rather a long time. More than I would expect it to take. Is it moving? No. I'll sit here and look at it and go, isn't it pretty? Oh, train, you're a short train. You couldn't take that long to release the brakes. What's going on here? Desperately trying. It's got power. Matter anyway. No. Just try and push you into release again. No, that blew the breaker. Let's try again. I think I busted it. Alright. Let's try the shuffle action. And we'll do all the PZB buttons as well. Put the brakes back on and release them again. Back into forward. Let's try again. During all the months of beta testing, I didn't once break this train. And now I quite clearly have. Dave Randall says it's worth a try, says he, distracting from his fact that his train won't move. More fun to get it wrong and learn more. Ryan King noticed it's hard to get the brake cylinder pressure to release in the 103. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like that for that long. It does hold for quite a long time. Yeah, I think it's got a hold brake. So if you apply a little bit of power, it will bring them off. Because I think it's got a hill start thing. We're moving! Yes! Maybe I just wasn't patient enough before. Ah, blew the breaker. Here we go again. I was too happy and rejoicing that we were moving. Are we going up a really steep hill, maybe? No, it's dead flat. I'm confused. But anyway, we're moving again. We'll live with it. My gut tells me that wasn't right. Time was that in the recording? At about 43. Okay, so 40 to 44. Ping Lucas and ask him to have a look, and he'll tell me what I did wrong. Rivers do have waterfalls, Lexic Dark. Perhaps not this one. Skirting danger again. It's not even a really heavy train, is it? It was, what's it, 675 tons or something? It wasn't that heavy. It's 6 times heavier than the train I run, but that's a little baby train. One of the interesting things on my railway, so we have passenger carriages that are notionally 7 tonnes or 8 tonnes, and there's a few that are more. There's a few that are 10 or 11, but most of them are 7 or 8, and that's meant to be loaded. But that loading rating was worked out in about 1910, and people are larger these days, so we often wonder how much our train really weighs, given that there are much larger people that ride it than would have in 1910. I had someone walk out in the tracks in front of me at one of the stations the other day on this route. It was disconcerting. I'm wondering why I keep slowing down when I'm getting near 100. It's freight trains, I believe, are only supposed to do 100 on this route. Yeah, that's cool, Rhine. So it is an interesting feature of the locomotive. Hello, CCT Mitch. How are you? Have to slow down to 100 soon, but I'm already doing it. Did you come in on the tail end of the conversation about weights on our train, CCT Mitch? Do you have a view? Life is okay. Just back from Bendigo, from the hottest autumn day ever, apparently. 38 degrees, 104 in the old money. Well, the good news of breaking the train back there is at least I won't catch up with this other service now. Quaint little village. Must get pretty hot in those buildings in the mornings. The sun's shining directly on them. This is a neat route. This is a fascinating structure up here. Because if you think about it, the road goes uphill here, so you could get into the station there. But no, you've got to walk all the way around here and then come down these stairs. It's just a fascinating structure. Yellow light. It's going to lightly brake since we have to slow down soon anyway. As that brake releases through the train, it might even be enough to get me down to 60. We'll see. We shall see. Not safe to release. Don't think it will be enough to get me down to 60, so I'll brake a little bit more. Get ready to acknowledge again. Honking because the gates are stuck up. So when was that in the recording? 49. I make notes of all these things because they're things that I didn't notice when beta was going on. Bit of buffer clanking action going back there behind me. Not too surprising. Now we won't do part 3 of this straight away. We'll come back to part 3 a bit later just to get a bit of variety. We will jump into the cab car for the next part, the BNRZDF, which I looked up, and I have to wonder whether my source is right or whether the cab car itself is wrong, because apparently a BNRZDF is some kind of cafe car, and I don't recall a cafe in this thing. Yes, the audience is useful for vicarious testing Lexic Dark. It's not intentional, but it does happen. Did I get your DM? I don't really look at DMs during streams. But if I haven't replied, it probably just means I haven't looked at it yet. I didn't really look at Discord yesterday. I was doing other things. That'll do. Now, of course, we'll get a wait a moment, probably. No, straight out. Oh, consistency. What do we get? Silver this time. That's better. Despite breaking the train, I got a silver. There you go. Not that the points matter that much to me. Don't really care. Mr. Costa Costa says, this is the cool locomotive, the one... No, this is the one we already had. It's very slightly upgraded. Very slightly. Not to the point you'd actually notice it. Now I need to run SE3352. And we want the cab car. BNZRDF. Want 3352. Ooh, that's a long one. And when do we want to march this? March and clear. Actually, you know what? Let's do March. Light clouds. Why not? Ryan King, every German root is a string of consonants. It's just like that. Mind you, you don't actually need vowels in English. You can take out all the vowels from every single word, and it simply doesn't matter. It makes no difference at all. You can still perfectly easily read them. Let's get the brake key unlocked. Let's get right-hand doors open by the look of it. And it bothers me that this is a key. Emergency power off. Oh, I just have to turn on in here. I have to try and remember. Traction motor fan, don't care. That comes on by itself. Circuit breaker will be fine. Pantograph will already be up. All of these things will be fine. Lights we want. Cab lights we don't want. Instrument lights we want. Don't worry about indicator tests too much. Now, PZB on this one. Where is PZB on this one? Up there, probably, I'm guessing. Oh, this is the one where the fuses are backwards. It's not called PZB on this one. It's called Indussy, which is apparently old for PZB. I raised a bug and said it's called Indussy, not PZB, and they said pull your head in. There's wipers down there. All good. Wait till 6:36. Let's go look outside then. One's going to run full length, and we are in Mainz. There's a 103 coming in. Let's go and get this way. I'm pretending to be a GoPro. I do that with our trains occasionally. I put a GoPro down in the middle of the tracks, but I have a bright orange handle so the drivers don't freak out about it. Time for us to go. Better do that. Now, we don't get a lot of noise in a cab car. Let's open the window and maximise our noise because we don't get much. And this thing, you're probably better off using a controller for this, but I didn't plug one in because it's a bit annoying using this with the rail driver. Brakes are almost off. I did have some power. Did I blow the breaker? Did I tap up too fast? Maybe I did. Maybe I did. Oh, no. I'm actually not in forward, am I? I don't think. There we go. Yeah, I think I just ran up too fast. Because I did see this go up on the gauge. It's safe to release as we bounce along. This apparently is actually normal, that it bounces like this for a while until the springs settle down. Because it was something else I raised a bug about, and they went, have you ever been in a real one? And I went, no. And they said, well, don't tell us that then. It's like, okay. Catching up with things. Had a bit of fun with the Licky incline. Yes, I did. I had to do a stall and divide. I tried 7 cars. It wasn't going to happen. 5 worked, just. I'll probably do another attempt at the Licky incline, actually, because I reckon it was so close to getting 7 cars going that I think if I started in the right place, I probably could get it to happen. So I think I will give it a crack at some point, but I'll do it as a video. I won't try and do it live. Hello, Rail Abel. Welcome. Lexic Dark says, and he tells me off about talking about my comments on vowels the other week. Yeah, well, you were just being obtuse. It wasn't about your comment on vowels. You were just being obtuse. Mr. Coaster Coaster, should I actually get a Linke Rheinstrecke? I'm quite enjoying it, but, you know, watch the stream. If there's something you want me to go and look at that will help you make a decision. So I can't sit there and say, yeah, go and buy it, because, you know, it's not my money. And Patriotal61 says, do you like German scenic routes? I do. I actually, originally when I first started playing the game back in about 2020, I guess. I think it was it Kolonarken? Was that the first one? Whatever the first German route was, I can't remember exactly which one it was, but I just kind of ignored it. I played the British one, and I played the American, and I never really touched the German one. I thought, I don't know, what do I want German trains for? And then gradually, as I started to get a bit bored with the American and British ones, I thought, let's go try this German train. And then I turned on PZB. That was a disaster. So I turned that off again. And I turned on CIFA. That was okay. I could figure out CIFA. CIFA's not so hard. Then I discovered that the German routes actually look nicer than the other ones. And every German release has been like that. They've all just looked nicer scenically than the British or American ones. It's just interesting. And even though our upcoming speed limit is 160, I really don't see us getting there with a 110 on the back. It's actually getting a bit loud. I didn't really expect that. If the train sounds too loud to me, let me know. Down, just hold. Throttle off, we'll do fine. Coast for a little while. Going plenty fast enough for this train. An accidentally nice shot. Catching up again. Do they use Westinghouse brakes in Germany? No, they do not. They use electro-pneumatic brakes. They actually apply and release. Actually, I don't know about one this old, but in the usual ones, they apply and release in every car at the same time because they're controlled electrically. And Dave Crandall said Rapid Transit was the first German. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would make sense, actually. That was the silver one, wasn't it? I think it might have actually been that one that made me like commuter railroads a bit. Or railways, as it would be. A bit hard to control this with Rail Driver, it really is. It's so much easier with an Xbox controller. Dovetail be crushing it for Germany. Yeah, I agree with that, Mr. Coaster Coaster. They do actually do a better job. The team that does the German rails does nice work. And they do actually share people between the dev teams, so I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's a team leader or something that just maybe pushes a bit harder, I don't know. Our first castle. As we head for Ingelheim, our first stop for the day. Patrattle61 said he was hoping the next steam train was going to be German. I would like a German steam train, actually. They look magnificent. Giant black locomotive with red wheels. Even the little ones look cool. Glare from the sunlight's a bit realistic. Lexic Dark says even the layout of the rails is scenic. I guess, if you like geometry. Mr. Coaster Coaster says Dovetail do be British. Yeah, they are a British company. They're in England. And their steam trains are older and rarer. I don't know about that. Mr. Coaster Coaster says he's playing Transport Fever 2. There we go. And someone else was playing something else too. Exceeded 79 miles an hour. I forgot who that was. Was it Metra? Might have been Metra. I think it's time for a question as we make our way to Ingelheim. Because we haven't had one for a while. I don't think we've asked this one. What is the maximum speed on Linke Rheinstrecke for the BR103 in any service in kilometres per hour? How fast is this train allowed to go? It really is allowed to go 160. I don't think so, because its speed limit tops out at 140 on the cab car there. Michael says it was Metra. Very good. Train. Metra says 110. Dave Randall says exclamation mark 60, which I'll take as 160, Dave Randall. Slip of the fingers there. Dave Randall for the points. It is 160 for the BR103 on this route. It can go faster. On a test run, I put together my own consist and I put it right at the start of the route. And I ran it full bore to the other end of the route before it had signalling. And I got up to 285 kilometres an hour before I crashed into the end of the world at the other end, which is kind of funny. Mr. Coaster Coaster with a very terrible joke says, killing meters is not my thing, sorry. I get the impression the train's probably a little too loud. Because people say, can you read the question again? I'll just turn the train down a little bit. We'll see how we go now. So Ryan, you are correct, but Dave did get it first, although he did say exclamation mark 160. We can go for another question though. While it's not actually on the route, which is a shame, just saying, would have been good, what is the name of the station in Frankfurt where Linke Rheinstrecke begins? And this is another multiple choice. Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof, Frankfurt Flughafen, or Frankfurt Südbahnhof. And looks up just in time to see that the fact that not only do I have to brake for a station, but I have to get down to 85 kilometres an hour before that yellow line runs out. And am I going to do it? I don't know. Well, the signal's gone green anyway. So we can release. Except I can't because this signal's not fully green. That's interesting. It shouldn't have told me I could release there. I think that's incorrect. But that's okay. Now cruise slowly into our station. Got quite a lot of A's. We've got a C. We've got someone who says it's not an A, then it's a C. We've got Ryan saying it's Hauptbahnhof. Well, there's only one answer left, and that's the correct one. So the incorrect answers have all been given, but not the correct one. I actually thought it was a little bit strange, to be honest, that it started at this station, but I looked it up and it really does. Mainz is the other end. Mainz is an intermediate station on this route. Safe to release, but I'm not going to bother because I have to stop at a station shortly. Now we've got a B. Dave Randall gets B first. It is, in fact, Frankfurt Flughafen, which is bizarre, but there you go. Dave Randall was first. This thing does have the most amazing brakes. Lexic Dark retracts the message, then laughs. Mr. Coaster says, I was not listening. That's fair enough. You don't have to. And Ray Label says, do you remember me? Do I? I don't know. Come into Ingelheim Platform 2, ladies and gentlemen. If you are leaving the train here, please get your belongings together. Don't forget to take your children with you. No one wants them. Children are, in fact, evil. Is this a quick load? This is a quick load. So let's get up and go and have a look anyway. Why not? Let's go have a quick look outside. See what there is to see. That's a blank sign, but it's not collectible. Another non-collectible blank sign. Ah, route map. Boop. Do you know one thing I really like? The game doesn't save when you collect things anymore, which means that... Oh, there's another one. Straight across the track. It's not looking. The game doesn't save when you collect things like it used to, so you don't get that horrible pause anymore. First aid. Go take our train out, huh? You would never run across not looking like that. Wouldn't happen. Empty. Empty. Could have sworn I could see people in here from outside. Tickets, please. Tickets, tickets. Do you really think a pink hat goes with a trench coat, mate? You're just weird. Tickets, please. Tickets, tickets. Is that a dovetail coat? No. Clearly haven't got a ticket because you're not making eye contact. You know, I need a ticket. I really do. Go on, ticket. No? Alright. Let's call the cops. Get you off at the next station. Love those doors, the bifolding doors. Just cool. What I find vaguely interesting is every time you have the horn in a German train, I always have this visualization of squeezing a mouse. Metro 212 says B first. Did you? Did you? No, you didn't. It's the order in my chat, young fella. You know, Dick. Let me just annoy Metro. Just briefly. Just so I can prove to him that he wasn't first. and I'll just paste it to him in Discord, which I normally don't open while I'm streaming, but there we go. There you go, Metra. Proof. So actually, no, you didn't. Because remember, the order, it's the order I see the comments. I can't tell what order other people see the comments in. I can only tell the order I see the comments in. And I am stuck with what YouTube tells me. 2.8 Ks to... Ooh, this is going to be an interesting one. Gore Angelsheim? Halgisheim? Something like that. I'm sure Lexic Dark will tell me. Rail Abel says, I was the one commenting if TSW3 could add a sleeper train. You answered that you would raise it via Ambassador. I have raised it. I definitely have raised that. It's a good idea. I don't know if it'll go anywhere. It's a good opportunity for a DLC that could layer onto many, many routes, but the challenge with the idea, and this is why I think it might not happen, but I'd love it if it did, is that it would actually have to change the timetable in every route. The other possibility would be to put it on as a scenario in every route, which I understand is easier to do because it doesn't require testing. Or open gates. So that's at 4112. Just write that down in my notes. So if it happened as scenarios, it could happen. If it was happening as timetable things, it might not happen because it would actually require every route to get tested and released. Which is a big ask. It's a lot of money just to get one train in. We come into Angelsheim, maybe? Maybe? Nicely planted platform there. Have I got the brakes right? No, we got to stop early. We shall release. Hello, Florian. How are you? David Park, yes, I know who you are. You're the guy that answers almost every single question in Dovetail chats. It's always amusing. I see a question and I go, 3, 2, 1, pop, answer from David Park. Nearly always. Ryan King says, yay, poster and first aid. First aid kits make me laugh because some of the locations are so out of the way and not logical if you needed help someone in an emergency. Yes. Mind you, if you really need help from someone in an emergency, you're not likely to go for the first aid kit first. If you needed to stem bleeding, for example, you'd tear off their own bloody shirt and use that. It's releasing. Just let that sit while the brakes release. Mr. Coast to Coaster, Lexi Dark says, I don't think first aid is going to help you after crossing the tracks without looking. No, that's true. You'd need a garbage bag, really. Probably several of them, because there's likely to be bits everywhere. I don't know how many people in this audience have ever, and I hope you never do, I really say that seriously, I don't know how many people in the audience have actually seen the result of a train hitting a human. I have twice, and it's not pretty. I would hope that no one has to see it. Once was a tram, and I have to say that that person's bones kept breaking for about 15 minutes after they were hit. You could just hear them going crackle, snap, like rice bubbles. It's kind of like the sound. And the other one was a train. That poor unfortunate individual left rather a mark down the wall of the Melbourne City Loop. Anyway, catching up with the chat again. Mr. Coast to Coast says pink hat and trench coat. If perfect. How dare you disrespect the pink? Yes. How am I a cheater, Metra? Yes. Well, you see, Metra's like Donald Trump. I didn't lose, I won. No, mate, you're a clown. Rail Label is thankful for me making the suggestion. I'm happy to carry anybody's messages in via the Ambassador channel, by the way. And if you've got bugs, I have a different way of reporting those. I can actually report them directly, but I need to be able to reproduce them. So if you do have a bug and you've got my Discord, anybody can join my Discord server. The link's on the channel. You're welcome to put it there. What I need is all the information, though. I need to know what build you were running, I need to know what service or scenario you were running, and I need to know what you did in the lead up to it, and what happened, and what you think should happen. And I need steps to reproduce whatever happened. So if you can do all that, and I can reproduce it, I'm happy to log the bug in the bug tracking system. Doesn't mean it'll get fixed straight away. These ones are down. Florian says, Algesheim. Thank you. That makes sense. Rail Label says he also mailed Dovetail Games if they get out of BR193. I'm an annoying little brat. Nah. There's a forum thread. Is it on the technical channel? I'm not sure. But there's a forum thread on the forum, in fact. The Dovetail forum. Where you can put your suggestions in. And if you're putting a suggestion in, write a little story about why it's important to you, because they're the ones that they actually read. The other ones might get ticked off in a list somewhere, but if you put a little story and you make it personal, it's more likely to gain some traction. And it can also bring in other people who go, oh yeah, that actually is a really good idea, and they'll start commenting on it, because that's the other thing they watch for, because what they want is stuff that's going to sell. And if lots of people are interested in it, they'll be more likely to do it. That's a cool bridge, isn't it? I like that one. It's chunky. David Park says you can apply a band-aid. Maybe thousands of band-aids. Metra says, yeah, nobody does. David Park says, Amtrak was quite nice. It was packed, though. Oh, that's good. You were going on an Amtrak recently. And Dave Randall says he has seen that and agrees it's horrible. Mr. Coaster Coaster says, Donald Trump makes me not want to have any children. Well, that would be one thing. It's probably worked better than dead kittens in the rhythm method, I have to admit. Just think of his face. Because, you know. Start this braking. Just a little bit. That'll do. The signal is green. Metra says, my bug is on ScotRail Express where I try to start a service and none of the trains are moving, but there are clear signals. Well, you need to tell me which service you're trying to start that on, Metra. Into the station. Hello, Neil TV8, welcome. The other night you were doing 6002 and you got stuck at a red light near Koblenz. That's not cool. So 6002, you reckon? Were you on time? Thought that lady was going to walk out then. Brief panic braking. Not that it'd make much difference, really. Well, what's me stop all the way back here? Okay. I shall do that. Open doors. Get up, because I see a first aid kit that needs to be replenished. As though the driver would do this. Love these bifold doors. I keep saying that, don't I? First aid kit. Dink. Now, these are my favourite collectibles. Now, while I love the animation and I appreciate it, anybody who's got a cooker clock knows that the chains don't roll up and down like that while it's doing that. They would just go down. Oh well, I better go back. We'll use the shortcut. And close right doors. What I'm not sure about is whether it'll close the bifold doors. No, other end. Did it close the bifold doors? No, it didn't. Bugger. Okay. Why not? Interlocked. Interlocked. But why? But I released the brakes. How weird. Alright, let's try now. There we go. Wouldn't it be cool if there was a little light somewhere that said you were interlocked? Just handy, I think. Ah, wow, lots of chat going on. Metra says 5R12, 1R26 and 1R33. Okay. I was writing down Metra's thing. Now we just have to wait for the brakes to release. They are pumping up. They will. Just writing down Metro services that he can't get going. Didn't acknowledge. Where were they? 1R26 and 1R33. Okay, I'll have a look at those. Cool. Chuck me more detail in Discord. And we've got Neil TV8's one. And Rail Label's done that in the mail. We should be able to go now. I hope. Yep, brakes are off. Run up. Yay! Passengers are going, what's this guy doing? So I can fake a story for a loco. Do whatever you want. Why not? Got a 40 limit coming up, apparently, on our way to Bingerbrook. But more stuff. Yeah, this morning I was too close to the train when a rail fan, so my video was a really close-up shot of the train. I was behind the yellow line, which was good. I had a GoPro actually taken out by a train once. I mounted it on the track. It was, I thought, below track level, but it must have been sticking up just a tiny bit because something hit it. And after the train went, and I went to go and get the thing, it was rather a lot of pieces. Fortunately, the memory card was fine. The battery was spectacular. The battery was very easy to find. I just followed the cloud of smoke. I'm in monitoring, so I'm going to throttle off now so I don't go over the 45. Florian had the same thing on SE3352, and I didn't do it again. See what happens when I try and catch up with the chat. I've got PZB turned on. I get bitten. So just while we're waiting for the brakes to release, I can catch up with the chat. So, yeah, Florian had another service, 3352, and it's 7 k's from Koblenz, and came from Mainz about 2 to 3 minutes late. Yeah, so that's pretty normal. Even with 20 odd beta testers, we can't run every service. Sounds like there's a cat hungry in the background here. Just let this throttle up while we head into Ingerbrook. Yeah, I know about the Naverka Dresden 143 tutorial. I think that's actually been fixed. I think that one is sorted. Patriotal 61 says it's a nice cuckoo clock. Ray Label says, what does the sign that means you should horn look like in Germany? And Neil, thank you for answering. Just as the rain starts. And it is a white P for... Is that Piefen or Fiefen? Rain. Where's my windscreen wipers on this one? Where are they? Oh, they're down here, aren't they? There they are. As we do the crawl of shame into the platform at Bingerbrook. Yeah, there are whistle boards in the chemical plant at Dresden. You are correct. There's also very strange point levers in the chemical plant in Dresden. For no readily apparent reason, there are American point levers in the chemical plant. I mean, maybe they're really there in real life, I don't know, but it just looks weird. Paul House says, what's up? I'm upright. I'm alive. How about you, Paul House? Rail Abel asks, is the RHTT train worth it? As it gradually layers into more routes, then it will become more worth it. But I would, me personally, I reckon I'd go for it in a sale if I was going to get it. Because, I mean, it's fun to play. But you don't get a lot of services for it. And I think it'll layer into more and more Brit routes as they come up. I'm going to stop a bit early. Oh well, that'll do. Door's open. I'm not going to get out to chase collectibles here because, you know, it's raining. Trying to catch up. RHCT worth it. What's up? RHCT has freight equipment and seasonal services. Yes, it does. Michael Newbury says, as the passengers pick themselves up from the floor, yes. And they wipe up all their coffee and stuff and get their laptops. Hang on, it's the 1990s. No one had laptops. They had luggables. Don't think the 143 tutorial bug has been released. I kind of thought it had. Well, maybe not. Wait until 7:13. All right, we are going to go look for collectibles, and then we'll do a question. We have to wait 2 minutes. We might as well go look for stuff. At Bingen. Hello, Bingen. I haven't actually seen a milk bottle collectible as yet, but I know they exist. They turn into these things. Blonk. Let's go down the hole and look down here. There's a poster. No cuckoo clocks. Hello, hello, hello. There's another one. I don't know why they don't release those jackets as merch. Would you buy one if they were available? Oh, first aid kit. Would people buy a Dovetail jacket if it was something you could actually get? That's a question. What? Cook o'clock. You have a Steam Deck. Excellent, Neil. My son bought one. I keep contemplating putting Train Sim World on it. And he keeps glaring at me. Because, of course, he doesn't want me to. What I have to wait for is for a new Stream Deck to come out, and then he'll buy himself a new one, and I'll steal his old one. That seems fair, doesn't it? Bouncy, 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 bouncy. Got Michael Newberry milk bottles are on the new route. Oh, okay. I'm just confused then. On Niddelitterbarn. I'm probably just confused because they turned into that same asset. Just stay below 24 kilometers an hour because we have a 500 hertz until we get past this signal up here, then I can release it. Could probably release it now, but I shan't. Dave Randall's going to check the 143 tutorial. That's cool. And yes, Florian, I think you're right. Poor House has had so many dope routes, I don't know which one to choose now. Yeah, it is an issue, isn't it? I mean, before I became an ambassador, I used to buy them. And after ambassador, I do get given them. But I have so many, I don't know what to play. And there are so many good ones too. So it's really hard to figure it out. I mean, you know, it's a first world problem, trying to figure out which game you're going to play, but it is difficult. I like the curved glass in this. Yeah. One of the other trains didn't end up with curved glass because it was too hard, but this one's got it, so they've obviously figured it out. Off we go to Trechtlingshausen. Neil TV8 remembers the milk bottle workshop scenario in TSC. Many fun things in workshop stuff. Many fun things. And I wish we could build stuff for Train Sim World. There's another 103 cruising along. And I think it's probably getting time to be a question because I've almost caught up with the chat, which I need to do to... Ray Lowell says he's not sure, but he thinks the U with an umlaut is pronounced Y, U and Y combined. Quite possible. Maybe they turn into different assets. Could be. Could be. Time for a question, isn't it? Which castle is considered the most famous castle on the left bank of the Rhine? And this is a multiple choice question. A. Burg Eltz. B. Burg Rheinstein. C. Schloss Stolzenfels. Which one is the most famous? A, B, or C? Read those out again. Burg Eltz, A. Burg Rheinstein, B. Schloss Stolzenfels, C. And my apologies to any German person who has to put up with my terrible pronunciation of your language. Got Florian going for a C. Poorhouse says the Rhine River is long. Loves it. Just cruising it is relaxing. It's not relaxing when you're trying to keep up with the chat and you've got PZB turned on. Let me just say that. And I'm going to slow. and moving the rail driver too far into run down. Hey, who says you don't have hills next to rivers, dude? Yeah, what's interesting is everybody's going for C, but my answer is actually A. Since there's such an overwhelming number of people who have gone for C... Thank you, Florian. Since there's such an overwhelming number of people that have gone for C, I might just have to give C as the answer, I think. Because the answer I've got might be favoured for a different reason. So we'll go with C. And Dave Randall was the first one to give a C, so Dave gets the points. I got through that just in time to notice that we're coming up to my station stop. People are picking up their coffee again right about now. I keep forgetting this thing has the kind of brake that you would get if you chucked a 50-ton block out the back on a chain. Because I think it won't let me stop this far back. I don't think it'll recognise it this far. Bounce, 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 bounce. Whorehouse watched it on YouTube. I assume you mean the Nittletobahn. This'll do. I did like the Nittletobahn stream. I think they did a good job. Both on the stream and on the route. I wonder if you can walk down that path. There's lots of paths you can walk down. You should really try it. Try them all. Ray Label says it's midnight and he's going to go. Fair enough. Michael Newbury gave me an extra one. Marksburg. And Ray Label said he's going... And cool, yep. I've got the wrong lights on. Uh-oh. I'm driving with red lights on. Are they up here somewhere? I better put that on. There we go. That's what we want. I've been driving with red lights all this time. That's better. Now my passengers won't be so confused. And did I close the doors or not? I did. Brakes off. Squeaky mouse. And away we go. Another 103. And I'm a bit late now. Because I'm not getting 4Ks in 2 minutes. If you're wondering when you should run up, every time you see that needle start to descend, you can run up another notch. It's safe enough to do. I'm going to use everything the 110's got. Not going to make up that time, but we're going to have a crack and try at it. Could possibly go wrong. Yes, you are correct, you Burke. I have the I had the tail lights on. Alright, we've maxed out the speedometer. Doing a little spirited running to try and catch up some time. I hope I don't find 3 PZB magnets somewhere to stop me, because that'll only make it worse. Now we'll have to slow down a little bit shortly, because to slow down to 130, but I'll probably have to slow down before that, in fact, just to stop. It does have good brakes, but it is now wet. There we go. Brakes on. We're running, but we're going to stop by the end. Lovely. They can just walk back in the weeds. It won't hurt them. Will it recognise it? Yes. There we go. Florian says Nidlertaban literally translated to Nidder Valley Railway. Well, that ruined one of my questions from the quiz. Poorhouse says, hey, where's your speedometer at? Yeah, pretty high. And it's, yeah, as Florian said, it's that one. Second dial from the right. All right, let's load our passengers quickly and let's get out of here. Closing doors, brakes off. Close them too quickly. I keep forgetting this is the 90s. They're not like doors that go beep, bleep, 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 and then close. They just open and close when you tell them to. Here we go. 3.2 Ks to Bacharach. Getting decidedly wet. We'll go for our next question. Which of the castles on the route is a UNESCO World Heritage Site? Says he, hoping there's not more than one. I only found one, but hopefully there's not more than one. Oh, my HUD's turned off, Poorhouse. You mean this one? Oh, I have that turned off. That's all right. That's quiz on next week, on next Sunday. So you can have points then. Says he's sailing through the signal. If he's reading the chat instead of watching where he's going, because he's an idiot. I caught up a bit of time though. Saved a minute. Yes. You can have points in a week's time. Hohenzollern. Rheinfels. Florian, Rheinfels. Is that the one I want? No, that's not the one I want, actually. I hope no one makes me say this, because, you know, I'm going to have to type it in, because I can't say it. It's a bloody long name. I think we'll have to come back to this one. As we go to the chief of all weasels, the Oberweasel. So we'll come back to which castle is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it will be worth more points when we come back. Wait, that car ran through closed gates. Didn't it? I'm sure it did. So about 145. There's another one I have to put in a bug for. Running out of room to write notes. Terrible. That'd be one of the ones when I put in the repro steps is, like this video, make sure you brake the train here. Make sure you get stuck here. Make sure you ignore PZB here and get stopped. We head for the Chief of Weasels. Interesting little stutter there. We'll go on to the next question. Which castle was built by the Archbishop of Cologne in the 12th century? Uberk says, yes, that crossing is bugged, but only from one side. Yeah, it probably hasn't got a collision box on it. Thank you, Michael, for reminding me I got stopped twice. We've got Rheinfels Castle and we've got Ehrenbritstein. You can take the 103 on Castle Würzburg, why not? Make yourself a scenario. Doing 130 in the rain. Now speeding. Spirited running, we call it, in the railway industry. Neil TV got a distant around showing approach and turned into full clear on us approaching red on 6002. That's a bit weird. There are trains that cross your path on this thing, and that is an adverse signal, I think. Why didn't I start braking earlier? We're going to make it anyway. It's all good. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Nothing to see here. Move along. It's all good. Made it. We've got Rochester. We've got Starlek. That's like Dalek. Mr. Coaster Coaster says over 300 kilonewtons would take it on perfectly. Even almost down to the 60 kilometers an hour I have to do up here. We had a nice spirited run into Oberweasel, but it got totally ruined because we had to slow down. Probably better than running into that train in front of us, though. Which is the train we were on before, isn't it? That's one we have to come back and finish the scenario for, or finish the service. I really like having the PZB helper HUD. It's really, really handy. That'll do. We haven't really got an answer for the Archbishop of Cologne one, so we'll double the points on that as well and come back to it. We'll go on to the next question while we're stopped. Why is Schloss Bersheim known as the Maiden's Tower? Give me the story. Off we go to St. Goa, where the best techno in the world comes from. Oh wait, that's not Goa techno, is it? This area actually is where some of the best techno in the world comes from. Just saying. If you like techno, look up some of the cities on this route. It's not the one I have, so maybe there's more than one UNESCO one. Oh, that's a terrible pun, you Burke. Terrible, terrible pun. A soggy, rainy day. Yep. But yes, it does look nice. And there's another castle. Like playing chess, there's just too many castles. I think we're only supposed to do 60 kilometers an hour right now, but I like the quote, Lexic Dark. Some moistened bint that distributes scimitars lives there, but no. Doing 100 a little early, but that's okay. Stefan says, I know nothing about this tower, Paul, but the name implies it's somewhere remote to keep some poor wife safe. Yes. You're right, Uberk, I tried. I didn't try very hard, but I tried. But look, if you're into techno music, definitely look up, just Google each of the names of the cities. I would have thought I'd have to acknowledge that, but I guess not. Google each of the names of the cities and techno, because there's some really good stuff available. There's a lot of very famous producers came from this area, and that might be a question later. So I think, did Stefan get the nearest answer? I think he did, yes. Let's give the points to Stefan. The actual thing is a young woman was locked in it and jumped to her death, and she supposedly haunts the castle today. So Stefan gets the points for that one. Which castle was named after Siegfried the Mouse? So I finally get some power. Ooh. Dark. Very dark. This is a very bendy bit of the river. Stefan says, and being a castle thing, probably cause of some foretold event, probably. Hard Sequencer is a bop from Dresden. Yes. There's a great Great collection of music from around here. Famous in the classical era as well, but I tend not to listen to that. And Patriotal 61, is it the Rapunzel fairy tale origin? Maybe. It is a very similar story, but Rapunzel escaped. So, this one, no. But possible, you never know. Never know. And by the way, Mr. No Steep Hills Round a River. Dave Randall is correct with the Mouse Castle. Berg Mouse. Do you know, if you lived in Berg Mouse, you'd just have to change your name to Mickey or Minnie, wouldn't you? Just, you know, for fun value. As we head for St. Goa. Breaking quite late, trying to build some time. Because it's a German train, I can actually start releasing the brakes, because you can actually do this. This works on a lot of the Brit trains too, so you can pre-release. Can't do that in an American train. Actually, you can on the Acela, I think. I think it can do it. Lexic Dark says it's all a bit grim, brothers, today. Yes, it's grim and Rhine. Terrible. Mr. Coast to Coast says about that castle story. Stories was someone who's committed suicide, being a ghost and haunting a place have always felt gross and inappropriate. I don't know. Depends if you like that sort of thing, I guess. Off we go to Boppard Bad Salzig. There's a question about that later. What was Berg Mouse used for when it was first built? We've passed Berg Mouse, by the way. It was just a bit behind us. It's right on the river. That's a seriously steep road back there. Imagine doing that in winter. 8Ks to Boppard Bad Salzig. Dave Randall says, my great-grandparents from the great Cornish village of Mousehole. Awesome. It's alright. We have not Victorian towns, but Australian towns. Cumbummer is probably my personal favourite. We have the weirdest town names in the world, I think. Dave Randall's pretty close with taxes. Patriottles is a storehouse. Florian is a jail. Dave Randall secure the border. Taxes is pretty close. It's kind of a tax, I suppose. It was a toll on the river, so I'll give you taxes. I'll let you have that. It was for toll keeping. Just letting you know, we are going to do a little more spirited running. We're allowed to do 1:30. We're going a little over that at the moment. Go into the next question. What are the model termini in this route? So not the real termini of the route, the modelled ones. I'd chuck in a nice easy one. you know what else I didn't do in my setup time? I didn't turn on the tail lights at the back of the train. Koblenz and Mainz. Dave Randall is correct. It's an easy one, so you only get 10 points for both answers. Just letting the speed gradually drift down to the 100, but I've been warned now, so I better actually do it. Because knowing my luck, there'll be magnets that make me do it. There's this amazing stair structure again. Everything on this route is marked F for Florian. Lifting speed back up again. We got through the evil curves. The back of the train should be past that sign by now. Interestingly, the HUD said 120 and the speed sign said 130. Put that in too, huh? Lexic Dark says, looking into his ancestors on that side, if they lived in a castle on the Rhine and had a big chain across the river to hold up boats until they paid up. Crazy Teutons. That's actually a very clever idea. Another very late break trying to make up time. Let's see if I survive the experience. It's feeling good. It's feeling very good. It's feeling like I'm going to stop early, so I'm going to reduce my braking a bit. I don't know if it's going to recognise it if I stop this far back, but we'll try. What's the worst that happens? I have to start again. Let's just try it. Objective complete. Got it. We're early. Managing to catch up. Excellent. Let's go for another question. At Bingen, we have two stations, Hauptbahnhof and Stadtbahnhof. What's the difference? It's not particularly about Bingen, by the way. It's a generic question about that kind of station designation. If I don't want to wait till 7:46, because I've got a green signal, so I'm going. Because by the time I get moving, it probably will be 7:46. There we go. I was right. What bishop was that castle? It was the Archbishop of Cologne. Or as an Australian bogan would say, Cologne. Dave Randall says upper and lower. Hauptbahnhof and Stadtbahnhof. There you go. Florian's got it. One is the main station and one is the city station. And the main station would normally be larger than the city station. I've never heard the terms upper and lower before. Dave? Head towards Boppet again. Notice everything around here's got Florian's name on it. He owns the whole place. Slow down to 120. I haven't even got to 120 yet. Lexic Dark wants to know what the difference is between hopped and hock. You reckon I know? I only work here, mate. Throttle off there for a bit, since we're meant to come down to 120. We'll let gravity take care of that, because we are going uphill, I feel, at the moment. There we go. Florian Schumann says hopped means main and hock means high. Thank you for the education. I appreciate it. Mr. Coaster Coaster says, I just remembered the PRR GT1 had a chap changer system. Yes, it does. It does indeed. In fact, most locomotives actually do. It's just quite a different thing. Now, just interesting, I think I'll give Florian and Lexic points for that, you know. Asking your own questions. That doesn't mean everyone should. I believe we're back on time now. So our spirited running has paid off. And if the driver doesn't stuff it up, we'll be okay. Coming to Boppard in the wet. I'm not going to get a lot of points for my stopping accuracy. That's okay. Is a long stop? No, it's not, so I won't go exploring. Alrighty, how much water flows along the Rhine per second? And I'll accept the answer in cubic meters per second or cubic feet per second. Either is fine. Don't want to wait till 7:50 and 30. I want to go. I want to try and run on time. I know that's weird for me, but I've decided today I want to try and run on time. It's an average figure, Lexic Dark. Patriotal61 says a lot. Yes, it very much is a lot. (2,900 cubic meters per second) says Dave Randall with the correct answer. Dave, mate, I do believe you have just passed NJTE. Florian's got 2,300. Slightly different number. 2,900 was the number I found. David McKee says, love your videos from Lisburn, Northern Ireland. I don't think I've made any videos from Lisburn, Northern Ireland. I don't think I've ever been there. I'd love to go to Ireland. It'd be really cool. We kind of planned a... this is before the economy turned to poo. We kind of planned a trip for US and some of Europe for later this year, but it's not going to happen, unfortunately. Because, of course, interest rates went a bit nutty, and paying mortgages gets a bit challenging when interest rates go a bit nutty, so spare money for holidays turned into spare money to pay mortgage. But judging by the number of banks that are failing, I think there's 4 have failed now in America. No one else's banks fail when it gets like this. Where, Whoa, that was a big bit of concrete. That way. Wow. That's like a jump ramp. That's at 210. The rain's starting to go away. Yay, dynamic weather. We're allowed to speed up again. I doubt this train's actually allowed to do 140, but you know we're going to. We go to Koblenz, our final stop on this particular train. And then we'll go back and finish that freight service. A little bit more than that, coast to coaster. I've been to America quite a lot of times, Mr. Coast to Coaster. I used to live there. I was living in America after 9/11 and before 9/11. It became a very interesting place then, especially for someone that looks like this. Just saying. You know, bit of profiling going on. Bloke's got a beard, he must be evil. Oh, I believe you, Mr. Coast to Coaster. It's all good. I think we should do another question, don't you think? At the Boppard Ham Festival, what food stuff do they get into? White line, lady. I'm allowed to actually do 140. Thank you, Florian. I wasn't sure about that, because sometimes they put it... Oh, it is up there. There you go. Look, 140. We are going to the right place. If you didn't know, you can change your destination on here if you want to confuse your passengers. Bit of gravity acting here, so let's get back up to the 140. That should recover it. Got sausages as a guess. We've got ham as a guess. Defo a sausage fest, says Lexic Dark. I think most German festivals are a bit of a sausage fest. I did have some remarkably nice chorizo sausage with my breakfast yesterday. You're going to hate me when I tell you what the answer is. Let's just say it's more of a liquid. Get behind the white line, it's not there. Thank you. Oh, red signal. Red signal. Red signal. Red signal. Going fast, red signal. Dave Randall with wine gets the points, but I'm not even going to write it down until we get to the signal. Yes, I am. So much for staying on time. At least it's not my fault. Signalman's fault. Hopefully I don't need to get up close to this signal to trigger it. Or is this the one that's stopping everyone? If Neil's still here, is this the one that stops you? See what's in front of us. Oh, there is a train there, but it stopped at a red as well. Red. There's another train stopped at a red. There's another train stopped at a red. Reds. There's a train coming out now. My path is actually that one that train's on. So does that mean we have to wait until all those trains have gone in now that train's come out? So if I had to guess, I would say that train was probably set for the wrong platform. It's a bit interesting. Let's see if this guy's signal goes green now. If this guy's signal goes green, now the other trains come out, we'll know. Give it a moment or two. Florian says this is exactly where he got stuck on his service, exactly here. This American guy said he went to a chocolate event. It was mostly alcohol. Of course, it's best kind. And he bought pickles and fudge. Interesting combination. Was he pregnant? Mr. Coaster Coaster says, in Europe, the teens drink alcohol. In America, the teens attempt to buy alcohol. I'm sure they succeed too. The drinking age in America is 21, but you can have a gun when you're 12. Go figure. In Europe, the teens... yeah, we've got that one. Yeah, we've got the red Congo. But I'd be just curious whether this signal goes green. I don't think it's going to, because the signal in front hasn't. Yeah, I think we have reached a point where it is simply broken. Because I don't think it can get in there. Maybe there's another train coming out. Let's see what that one does. Maybe we've just got some hideous bank up of services going here. So when this one comes out, let's see what happens. Because that is crossing onto the same track. And it's crossing over onto our side, but it should run on the other side. Why is it coming onto our side for? Except it's not. Okay, and that's just my path that's going that way. Mr. Coaster Coaster says in America there are more guns than people. Like, that's actually a statistic. In Australia, there's more sheep than people, so, you know. Don't bring a gun to a sheep fight. I think that's true in New Zealand too. There's more sheep than people. I think we're stuffed. Just saying. Because he's clearing his signal. So if this next one goes green, then he'll be able to get in. But we would have to wait for that to clear anyway. And his signal is not changing even though it would have by now. So I think we are stuffed. All right, we shall jump out of this one. Shall we sped our way out of it? Or should we just quit out of it? We'll just quit out of it. Let's be nice. All right. We're outie. So I shall report that. What makes the Boppard Ham Festival unique? Dave Randall says in Wales it's 3 sheep to every person. So that's a common thing, that there's more sheep than people. That's interesting. Let's go and finish our freight. Then we'll do a 103 run. Which freight was it? 69750. Would help if I typed it right. That one. When was I going to run it? I was going to run it in February. Clear. Which I might do light clouds, actually. Stefan says 26 million sheep nowadays used to be 70 million. Well, it's still more people. It doesn't really matter. All right, let's get our freight set back up. Be on. VZB on. Brake mode is R, which I will do. think it should actually be G, but that's fine. What else did I have to turn on in this thing? I always forget. I think it's all set up, ready to go. Here and look at our lights. Yep, they're fine. Let's pop down the back and see if we've got a thing on the back. Got our little doobies. Is it this fruit that lets you put another one on? You can hang one from the bottom somewhere? Or is that... Maybe that's the other one. Yeah, this one you can't even take those things off. Little reflective thingies. Wait, it says. We have got a green signal. Will be nice though. We'll wait. I'll also just catch up with something. Caleb asks, didn't the Australian Army lose water emus, those flightless birds related to ostriches? No. No, it didn't. I don't know where you heard that. And Mr. Coaster Coaster, is it true that in Wales the sheep fear the people? Only if they've got their Velcro gloves on, Mr. Coaster Coaster. It's not music that makes it unique. Have a look at how you get to it. Giving up waiting, because by the time we actually get moving, I'll just move slowly. No, I won't. I'll blow the circuit breaker. There we go. That'll eat some time. Don't tap up so much, rail driver. Go for 2. I think I'm locked out, aren't I? I am. Why am I locked out? There we go. 2. Because by the time I actually get moving, it'll be 10:30 anyway. It'll be all good. Florian says it's almost 1 a.m. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Thank you. Enjoy yourself. Have a good sleep. Dave Randall says only red wine. You don't get there by train. No, it's something else. Wheel slip then, because I tapped up too far. Had a bit more wheel slip flickering then. That little freight comes back onto the main. Same to you, mate. Honk, honk. No, it's not a boat. Interestingly, a lot of houses in, is it Auckland? I think it's Auckland. Also use this method to get to their houses, same as this castle. I have to admit, Mr. Coaster Coaster, that emus are in fact a little bit evil, but only in the sense that they steal your sandwiches at a picnic. What you really got to watch out for is drop bears. Going all the way to Bingerbrook in 26 kilometres. And I suspect that we'll end up being stuck behind other trains quite a bit. Wheel slip. There we go, we're back. Cable car, yes, Dave Randall. And it would be Wellington. Ah. Wheel slip. Come on, you can do it. Get your wheels onto the rails, train. There we go. And just in time, we're only allowed to do 90 kilometres an hour. Done that perfectly. Lexic Dark says he doesn't know about emus, but the Australian Army simulator added in kangaroos, but they had attributes of a soldier, so they had rifles, which caused some amusement to the users getting shot at. That would be funny. Now, kangaroos will smack you in the head, or kick you in the nuts. So why not give them guns? It reminds me of that song, Cows with Guns. It's a very funny song. If you've never heard it, head onto your whatever your favourite music provider is and look up Cows with Guns. It's very funny. Dave Randall says he only got that because he watched a YouTube video on cable cars in Auckland. Yeah, I actually thought there were cable cars in Auckland as well, but maybe it is Wellington. Tunnel Castle. Very dark in here. What is Starlek Castle today? And don't mention anything about Doctor Who. Dave Randall, drop bears are evil. And for those who doubt drop bears are real, let me get you a reference. This must be true because it's from the Australian Museum. We're being naughty and going a little bit fast. That's okay. Lexic Dark says, roos do the gut rip kick while standing on their tails. They do indeed. And you often see them fighting amongst themselves too. Males will get together and fight to decide who's going to be the leader and get all the females. Sounds kind of like bogans, doesn't it? Mr. Coast to Coast has said some dude in Texas, Channel Urban Rescue Ranch, has a kangaroo. It hit a rapper and artist, the baby. Yep, beaten by a kangaroo. It certainly happens. Happens here in the animal sanctuaries too. People go, ooh, they're so cute, and then they get beaten. It's often good to see. I once saw a guy reach into a penguin burrow because he wanted to get hold of a penguin to take a selfie with it. Let's just say when he went into the burrow he had 5 fingers, and when he came out he had 4. Penguins do munch up fish for a living. They don't have teeth, but it's a good muncher. So I imagine the penguin enjoyed the free meal. Probably quite appreciated it. It's not a hotel, it's not a restaurant. Lexic Dark says there's kits you can buy with hard hat, duct tape and a knife. Dave Randall says an achievement on Civilization 6 about drop bears. That's good. Am I going to make it? Going to be close. Might break a little bit more, I think. Going to just get there, I think. Just in front of the yellow line. No, I didn't. I'm being stopped by PZB. I thought I was going to make it. So close. But no. Caleb says he wants a capybara as a pet. To actually release, if they're going to. Train pipe is very, very slowly pumping up. Yes, the quokka. It's a true source of all evil, the quokka. It's a good thing they only live on one island, isn't it? Never get off it. Otherwise we'd be doomed. There'd be no people left in Australia at all. This is the slowest pump up ever. Look at it go. Speeding up now. It's going to waste electricity futilely now. Because when the bar in the brake pipe passes 4 in the top right hand corner there, the brakes should start to come off. There they go. Brakes are starting to come off. I'll start to get some movement shortly. We should do a question while we wait, shouldn't we? To distract you from my foolishness. Oh, we haven't finished the Starlight Castle. Oh, looks like we're coming back to Starlight Castle then. We'll do that. I shall double its points and we will come back to it. What is the Rheinsteig? Or Rheinstieg, perhaps? No, it's not a racing driver in a white helmet. Are we on a hill? A downhill. Why aren't we moving? I'll still be releasing the brakes in the back of the train, I think. Let's notch up one more and see if we get away with it. Are we going to get away with it? Yes. Lexic's Darks is a dreaded mesmerize attack of the standard quokka. No one would go eat. Very tragic. Yes, they're like the Hypnotoad. Didn't we start the day like this? Just sitting here stuck? I'm going to put some brakes on and take them off again. Might be too much. I feel... Are we moving? Don't think we are yet. I think it's still just thinking about moving. We can do a gratuitous sprint shot while we're here. Gratuitous sprint shot. One for Dovetail, one for Steam. Go on, train. I'm still hearing brake releasing type noises. And there was a compressor running just then, and we almost moved. We're almost moving. Let's go up a notch. Clunk. Blows the breaker. What did I do last time that fixed it? That. Oh, I wonder if it thinks it's blown the breaker when you've done that. But it just doesn't behave that way. Says he blowing the breaker. It feels like deja vu, it really does. Now it's not letting me power. Probably will now. Yep. It's not the Haunted Palace, not Adolf's Palace, not the seat of government. It's a hiking trail. Well done, Dave Randall. It's a hiking trail that follows the Rhine for almost its entire length. It would take you a little while to walk that distance, I think. Especially since you'd probably want to climb every hill and visit every castle on the way, because, you know, you just would. That's what you do. As a tourist, you visit things. If I was on a rock in the river singing Die Lorelei, what would I be? Just release now. Clearly not. Just to shortcut stuff. I am locked out at the moment. So I've released. Do I need to maybe apply the brakes fully and then release them? No? We just have to wait. Just sit here and wait. Lexic Duck says mermaid. That's pretty close. And Dave Randall does say pissed here, probably. I think I'll take the Lexic Duck because the Siren legend and the Mermaid legend are very tightly intertwined, so I will take Lexic Duck's answer. I was actually after Siren, but I think Mermaid's probably good enough, and well done to you. And where would I be? Where would I be if I was a siren singing Die Lorelei? He's hoping. Trying to move. Don't know if I dare go up another tap though. Let's try. No, blew it. Blew it. I have 1.1 miles an hour of wheel slip when I'm not powering. I think we've gotten to the bottom of the problem of what's wrong with the train, which is why applying the brakes fixes it. It thinks it's got wheel slip. Oops, too many taps. Let's see if we move now. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Doesn't dare tap up at this point. Got something. Decent brake application. And release. There's a few answers there. None of them are right. Ah, yes. Dave Randall's kind of got it. Dave Randall's got it. Not train. Five's too many. I don't like this train anymore. It's upset me. Because my own stupidity has been my undoing. We just get out and walk away. We can do that, right? It should just roll. It's downhill. But it does not have the brakes released for some reason, even though it says they are. We did find one issue where it thought it had wheel slip. Any other switches changed position? Anybody got any suggestions? Let's do the PZB shuffle. Now it's starting to rain. Great. Go. Weirdness. I think there's definitely a bug there. That just doesn't feel right. Well, at least we're moving. That signal's still red, so... kind of surprising. Unless it's one of those ones you have to drive up to before it'll do anything. Dave Randall did get the thing. It's actually a rock called Lorelei. It's probably more of a story like Oedipus, Lexic Dark. Michael Newbury says, call AAA. Do you know, I lost a few people then. Because they're going, this guy's an incompetent idiot. And they'd be right. Oh, we're changing tracks. Maybe it was us holding up the entire railway before. We've got a red signal, which makes me sad. Makes me think we're not going to get to Bingerbrook. Stefan says get some tape and tape the breaker open. There's a plan. Does it actually work? I thought the breaker switch had just been an internal thing. It's going to make me stop for this signal, isn't it? Denied. I got a path beyond the signal? It's going to change now. It's be fine. See, all that mucking around, we needed to do it anyway because we had to wait for this train. Yay! See, if I hadn't had that problem and mucked around and entertained everybody by being an idiot, then we would have had to wait at the signal anyway for 5 minutes. So at least you got the amusement of watching me floundering, trying to make the train work again. But I do definitely think there's a bug there. That doesn't feel right, and it also feels different from when I made the tutorials, because I did do a PZB trip during the tutorials, and it didn't do that. So I think it's changed since I did them. Slip going on. Very confused train for a moment there. Primitive mechanical infrastructure. Why are we running on the left rail? Why aren't we running on the right rail? I'm confused now. We're running wrong rail. Weird. I'll go with the flow, but it's weird. We'll slip again. That's okay. Lexic Dark says breakers can throw a fair bit of plasma out the back. Uberk, I think, are being overtaken by an AI train. You had a grid signal to the right. It is possible that another train's going to pass us, but I've not really seen the dispatcher work this way before, but it's possible. I guess we'll know soon enough. Something really fast goes whoosh down the right-hand side. we'll know, won't we? It does feel like maybe a bit of a pathing issue. But we'll see. We shall see. I think it's time for another quiz question. So if there's a speed limit on that side of the track, do I have to obey it on this side? There's a question thing. So you've seen the route map a couple of times. And this question's going to be very painful while running PZB. I have to say, it's going to be problematic. Let's try and keep it simple. There's 10 points for each of these. Name all the stations on the line that are modelled in the game. You don't have to get them all to get the points. They're 10 points each. So just start rattling them off, and I will put names against them and put the points in later. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 stations on the route. And where it's a Hauptbahnhof or something else, you need to tell me because some of them repeat. Oberweasel, yes. Tender Dave to start us off. Do I hear 20? 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. Do I hear 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20? Do I hear 20, 20, 20, 20, 10, 10, 10, 10? No. Bacharach, yes. Dave Randall again. Boppard HBF, yes. Surprised no one else is answering these. You're going to get Dave Randall get an awful lot of points. There's that car again, straight through the goats. Boppard Bad Salzig, yes. And I'll give you Bringbrook. It's actually Bingerbrook, but I'll give you that Patriola. Actually, Bingerbrook's only a siding. It's not a station. So no for that one. Goa, yes. That is one. St. Goa. VR. Mombek. Mombek. Is it? Don't have a Mombek? Yes, I do. Mainz Mombek. Sorry. Yes, I'll give you that one. What else have we got? Dave Randall's Spey. Yes, that is. Koblenz with Michael Newbury. About time someone came up with that. Niederheimbach from Dave Randall. Yes. Dave's getting a lot of points here, folks. Don't let him get away with this. He's going to have an insurmountable lead. Bingen. Bingen. Ooh, Bingen's one of those ones with many things. Bingen HBF, yes. There's 3 Bingens. Uleborn, yes, Unleborn. I'll give you Uleborn. I think it's Unleborn, but I'll give it to you. Freight train coming through. Mainz Mombek. Uberk's already got that one. Just helping. Excuse me. Trecklingstein or something. Yes, Trecklinghausen, but I'll give it to you. Udenheim, yes, I think so, yes. Mainz HPF, yes. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 to go. Bingen Golsheim, yes. 9 back. Didn't someone say that before? I think it wasn't a station. Don't have a 9 back. .3 k's to the siding. Are we only going to the siding in this one? No, then we're going to move again. Bingenstadt, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go. Recktingshausen we've had. Wasn't quite spelt right, but it was near enough. Oberweasel we've had. We've stopped at one of them today. Stopped at 2 of them today, actually. Bingen Bomb. No. We finished Bingen's. Go Elgensheim, yes. Got 1, 2, 3 to go. Two Heims and something else. Heidersheim, yeah, near enough. Two to go. Two left. One short one and one Heim. Heim. However you say it. I have no idea. Side of Werlo. I think that's a siding, Werlo. Or Werlau. One of them would be the partner of Stimpy. Friends for Dave Randall, yes. Came through that point's just a little quick, really. Just a little bit quick. Yes, Lexic Dark, it would have been Ren. And your router died. And thank you for the 40 reminder, Patriotal 61. Yes, I missed that a little, you might say. Had Wrens. Dave Randall got it about the same time I made my joke. Surprised I don't have to acknowledge that signal, but there you go. We took a very funny path through that station. A very funny path indeed. Herzenek? No. It's a Heim. The last one left, or Heim, or Heim, I'm not quite sure how to say it. It's probably pronounced with some spittle. Something like that. Rooted Router went dark. Oh well. This is the weirdest part ever. Like the dispatcher's gone, what's the weirdest path I could possibly take through Bingerbrook? Now, someone did actually say Bingerbrook earlier as a station. So after I stop, we will actually have a look at the station signs in this station, because even though it wasn't on the map... No, it's not Bingerbrook. It's okay. Ren and Stimpy were indeed the ones with the don't whiz on the electric fence. Faint suspicion this won't be close enough, but we'll see. We're going to be waiting for another train anyway, so it doesn't hurt to crawl along very slowly. Won't really change anything. So the station that was missing, just to put people out of their misery, was Ingelheim. So no one got that one. So after we stop at this station, I will stop at this siding. I'll do the addition for the names and put the points into the main tally table. Now we just got to wait for another train to come. So let me just add up these points. So we got Michael Newberry got 10. So Dave Randall, Dave Randall, Dave Randall, Dave Randall. Actually, there was one more station. Dave Randall, Dave Randall, Dave Randall, Dave Randall, Hugh Burke. Got surprise, Dave Randall, Dave Randall, Dave Randall, Dave Randall. There's one no one got. And then there's Dave Randall, Dave Randall, Dave Randall, Hugh Burke, and Dave Randall. There we go. It's a lot of points. We'll go and explore this station while we're waiting. Let's apply our brakes properly. Should probably also take it out of forwards, but we won't. Nothing coming. Safe enough. Oh, look. There's a dunny. Oh no, I can't get to it. Can't get to the dunny. There's no dunnies in Train Sim. Ooh, wandering. Yeah, let's drop in here for a quick slash. Can't open the door. How far can we walk? Probably means there's a collectible out here somewhere. Or is it just because it's a train yard? It might be because it's a train yard. How far can we go? That far. Alright, invisible wall. Who hates invisible walls? This is called trying to be entertaining for 3 minutes. I think we checked out this platform before, didn't we? Is escape possible? Ooh. How far can we go? Well, we can get into the car park this way, but we won't get through that fence, I'm betting. Dave did have Ingelheim, did he? Cool, so Dave did have Ingelheim. Alright. Do I want to give up control? No. And now 3 minutes is up. That didn't feel like 3 minutes, but anyway. Brakes off. And away we go, but slowly. There it goes. I was just being impatient. Dave did have Ingelheim, did he? Having a look. I wonder if he got filtered out. I've given you the points, Dave, but I don't actually see it in the chat for Ingelheim. Oh no, there you are. Yep, yep. No, it's all good. I have given you the points anyway, so it's all good. Nice teamwork there, folks. Even though you're on opposing teams. I just did a perfect storm of the motor then, the motor uber storm, briefly. There we go, we're back now. So we head for Mainz HBF. Very slowly. Many boat tours leave from a town along the route, which has a station. Which one is it? This one's worth 20, so a little harder to find than usual. Oh, now we're going on to the correct side, which is good. Googling something like boat tours Rhine might probably find it for you, though. Right, Patriol till 61. Sleep well. We'll finish this one up after we get into Mainz. I was thinking about running the 103 as well, but this has taken rather a little longer than I thought it would. So I have got a relative coming over. Not too distant future. Koblenz isn't the one I'm looking for. It's a strange looking station building, isn't it? We'll slip. Will it power up again, or are we still slipping? We're very much slipping, because we just went from 120 to 160 kilometers an hour. Not Mainz, no. That's not the one I'm looking for. I thought it was easier than this. Let me check. Perhaps it's harder than I thought. Yeah, it probably is the signal tower, Michael Newbury. Boppard. I was actually looking for Sangoa, but I just checked it myself, and yeah, it's far too many answers. I think we'll skip that question. In which town along the route would you expect to get a good soaking? It's a slippy old track today. No, not in Wishen. In Wishen. It's literally a translation of the station name. You check that, make sure it's right, but I think it is. Yep, it is literally a translation of the station name. Or part of the station name, anyway. Cruise off on our slow freight to Mainz. Sun's starting to set. you don't like where the wiper stopped, you can move it. One's madly tapping station names into Google Translate. Up, down, crunch. I wanted to get in there and get that nice shot. There's a shot for Dovetail. What if I told you the English version of it was Bath Salty? I didn't think it's going to be that hard. The English translation of the second part of this station name is Bath Salty. There's only one. Yeah, it is Bad Salzig, but which station? There's only one station with Bad Salzig in the name. I think you've only got to scroll back up to see it. Must be up there somewhere, because it got ticked off before. Actually, I don't think anyone got it. Yay, you Burke, well done. Why doesn't Linke Rheinstrecke have LZB? Dave Randall is indeed correct. If a weasel was to get high, in which town would it live? I was seeing things. I was thinking that the carriages were actually reversing as they went past, but they're not. Oberweasel! Yay, Dave Randall. You had so many points, Dave Randall. You're certainly going to cement your lead today. The weasel would crawl into a trash bin and die. I would have thought it would be a trash panda that was in a trash bin, Mr. Coaster Coaster. In other words, a raccoon. Or if we're in Australia, we have bin chickens. That's what we call ibis. The place where I was taking photos yesterday, there were these magnificent grey and white cranes. I'm right. Watch that again. They don't always do it, but some of them are actually reversing direction as they come past. It's hard to tell from the tree. Yep, there's three that just did it then. The three carriages in the middle are actually changing direction as they come through. So they've got a low bit, a medium bit, and a high bit, and it's reversing as the train comes through, as you watch it. That's interesting. $10Ks to Mainz. Actually, I think I've seen that bug before. I think on Sherman Hill, when you've got the container double stack, and you've got two small containers on the bottom level and a big container on the bottom level, sometimes they flip as they go past you. Probably the same bug. So if you were going to come up with a really, really, really bad fish pun, and it was about a fish that swims in the Rhine, what might it be? It's a very empty yard, isn't it? Very empty. I was hoping for a sunset on the way to Mainz, but I think we're going to get there too quickly. You're going to hate it when I tell you what it is. It would be rainbow trout. Pretty bad, isn't it? The BASF chemical plant in Budenheim produces fumaric acid. Is it dangerous? That's Fumaric, fumaric acid. Is it dangerous? Oh, Dave, that's even worse. The cod on the Rhine is all mines, all mines. That was definitely worse than mine. Yeah, I'm going to pay that. No, it's not dangerous. That is correct. It occurs naturally in fruit. Now I'm going to type this one, let's hope I get away with it, into the chat because it's a little detailed. There you go. The next question's in the chat. £13.90. 13, let's go 13.90 euros. No, it's actually not a trick question, Steph. It's on that day it's cheaper for no readily apparent reason. But Dave got it. It's €13.90. Don't ask me why it's cheaper on that day. It just is. That's why I typed it. Okay. If I was going to ride the Vulcan Express Classic, what would I be doing? Hello, NJTE. I have terrible news, my friend. Dave Randall has scored so many points that I would suggest he's probably higher than you now. If he's not, it'd be very close. I reckon he's done it, though. He's either done it or he's close. Oh, he caught the R211, the new subway train. That's cool. 4K into Rhines, and I'm driving along with the door open. How amusing's that? I'm already doing less than 100K, so it's fine. Better hurry up on the questions, though, eh? We're going to run out. So while people are trying to figure out what they're doing on the Vulcan Express, I'll give you a different one. 2 Thomas the Tank Engine stories feature a German locomotive named Frieda. What are the 2 episodes? And I have to say, our little friend Metra is going to be so pissed off that he's missed out on a Thomas the Tank Engine question. As we're coming into Mainz, I've got a few questions left, so we'll have a quick look at the 103. We won't drive the full route, but we'll jump into the thing and get moving. So we've got 2 questions out at the moment. If you're riding the Vulcan Express Classic, what would you be doing? And we've got a Thomas the Tank Engine question where 2 stories feature a German locomotive named Frieda. And what are the 2 episodes? I suppose it could have been in the Great Race. I don't know. You just get him back next week, right? It's very gracious of NJT to not mind if Dave passes him. But if Bard does, then you do mind. Oh, fair enough. Oh, did I forget to acknowledge? God damn it. Well, this will keep us going until we get the questions done anyway. That'll teach me for reading chat, won't it? Start pumping up the brakes now. What route is this set in? This is Mainz, Koblenz, Linke Rheinstrecke. Set in 1990s. Not visiting the Swiss Alps, no. It's actually a railway that intersects with this one. The ICE coaches do have a 90s livery, you're right. Grudge match, excellent. We haven't got an answer to the Thomas the Tank Engine question. We haven't got a proper answer I was actually looking for anyway for the other one. The answer for Vulcan Express was you're riding a vintage train. It actually intersects with this one. I'm just waiting for the brakes to release. So we'll just sit here now. Sit here, sit here, and sit in some more. Let's look around while we're waiting for the brakes to release. It's a little ICE with pink, green IC as well. There's a train moving. That's another one. Sneaking by us. There's only 2 episodes of Thomas the Tank Engine that feature a German locomotive called Frieda. Oh, the brakes have come off. Let's see if we can move. Maybe a no. You're tired from hunting the train all day. I'm glad you managed to get on it. That's good. You think Frieda is in Grudge Match? Really? I only found 2 episodes. And Journey Never Ends. I was actually looking for the party surprise and saved you. Yeah, I thought she was only in 2. I shall provisionally give you the points, Dave. And I'll check it out later, because I'm not going to do it now. What locomotive from the normal main character set does Frieda look like? There it goes. I think it's just some weird combination of controls to make it move. Gordon. Yes. It was Series 23, by the way. I agree with that. And it does look like Gordon. It's like a grumpy version of Gordon. Mind you, Gordon's kind of grumpy anyway, so it's a grumpier version of Gordon. Hey, NJT, make sure you hang it on Metro that he missed out on some Thomas the Tank Engine questions. He'd be very sad. Do steam trains ever run on Linke Rheinstrecke? And I don't mean in the game, I mean in real life. NG, you got some points, NJT. There was an easy one for you. Yes, they do. Sven Vath, Chris Liebing, Roman Flugel might have used trains on Link Rheinstrecke, What do they all have in common? And let me put the names in the chat. And I'd be kind of disappointed if Lexic Dark didn't get this one. Just saying. It's kind of a question tailored for Lexic Dark. Depends on the time of day, Stefan. When the sun's very low in the sky, it does actually get a bit like this. Everything gets a bit shiny at this time of the day. They are indeed Lexic Dark. They are in fact techno musos. Some of the groundbreaking German techno musos who kind of, don't know about invented it, but they kind of made a lot of it. And they were some of the first. Excellent, NJTE. Excellent. A card game and a town on the route share a name. Actually, it might be a table game rather than a card game. But a game and a town on the route share a name. What is it? It's played in casinos. I'll give you that much of a hint. Lexic Dark's having trouble staying alive today. That's not good. It does sound like something Metro would do, wouldn't it? He's dropped the C word with me a couple of times. More brakes, more brakes, more brakes, more brakes. Just stop, 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 stop. And I get kicked out by an AI. Straight away. An AI with brown hair, no less. Silver! Righty. What should we do? Spring sales on. Yeah, just saying. What should we do? What should we do? What should we do? Resume last played. Thunderstruck. It's been a while since I played Birmingham. At least it isn't a bronze, yes. I'd play the other kind of service that's on here, but I can't, because I can't do it till Thursday. Because on Thursday we'll have the 628 on here. Mr. Coaster Coaster thinks he needs oxygen. Oh well, breathe then. Bacharach, Dave Randall, yes, very much. And we've got 3 more questions, so let's just jump into 103 and we'll start the service. Let's find one that should be either a nice sunset or a sunrise or something like that. March. Actually, you know what? Let's break the streaming rules. Let's do a nighttime stream. I won't play much of this. I just want to get these questions out of the way. The oldest operating cable car in Germany is on this route. In what town? Ooh, very dark. Signal lights normal. That's right for the lights. We're up the wrong end to turn on PZB. Not that I should really bother when we're only going to run part of the route, but let's do it anyway. Oh, hang on. Before I do that, let's get the passengers loading. Sadly, you have to get out of the train to turn on PZB. Use our driver's torch that we all carry, don't we? PZB. What on earth was that? Was that you arriving, making that funny noise? Is that a 110? It is. Everybody's getting out of my train. No one wants to ride with me. Bastards. Oh, let's go look in the carriages. We haven't looked in these ones. There's the toilet that we're not allowed to use because it's a DTG game. What can we do on the panel? Anything? No. Nothing works. Oi, door. This is second class. I think you must have found another cable car because I was thinking of Spey. So I think you found a different one. Let's go through the doubly doors then. So since two of you found that, NJT answered first, so I'll give him the points. Come on, door. Door. We're just exploring a train, killing time while I ask questions. So there's no point asking the next questions. What are the 3 drivable vehicles on this route today? Can I not go in through this one? Oh, I can. This carriage is dark, isn't it? They're all the same, aren't they? Why did you all get out? $103 and $110. One more. Sorry, mate. You can't go because I haven't. Aren't I naughty? Just saying. You know, I do love annoying AIs. She hasn't even turned her brake key. How much fun can you have with AIs? I got a reward. Surely I've used the headlights before. Let's take your key out. Press CIFA for you. Let's turn on your safety systems. That should annoy you. Where's CIFA? There it is. Oh, change your brake mode as well. There we go. And if you can figure all that out, fantastic. I am mean to the AI sometimes. Let's get our very brief service out of here. We're not going to play long though. Close doors. Because she can't go until I do. Oh, there's another switch up here, isn't there? There we go. I turned my brake key, didn't I? I think I did. There we go. We are actually moving, I think. Or not. No power. What have I forgotten? Something I've forgotten. Brakes are off. There we go. I was just being impatient. Yep, just being impatient. B's NDZF463. Oh, it'll do. Enjoy your dinner, NJTE and Mr. Coast to Coaster. It's no 111. It's 103, 110, and yeah, it is sometimes called the N Wagon, so tell you what, I'll give points to Coaster and Randall. How about that? What will you be able to drive on this route on Thursday? I think I said it a few minutes ago, actually. Once we get the answer to that, we will call it quits. So our 103 departs the platform. I think this light needs to be replaced. It's a bit wonky. What drivable vehicle will you have on this route on Thursday? 628. Well done, Dave. Oh, that's let's do the easy ones first. Michael Newbury 20, Ryan King 10, Stefan 10, Florian 20, Lexic Dark 30, U Burke 30, NJTE 20, Coaster Coaster 10, and Dave has got a lot. Good. 410. There we go. Oh yeah, the castle questions that weren't answered yet. Have you got answers for the castle questions? Yes, you missed out on a Thomas question, Metra. Alright, let's try the castle questions that we didn't get to before. One of them was, which of the castles is a UNESCO World Heritage Site? And people did give some answers, but not the one I was after. And the other one was, which castle was built by the Archbishop of Cologne in the 12th century? And we also have is, what is Stalbeck Castle used for today? I'd love to keep driving for a moment then while people figure those answers out. There's 2 Thomas questions actually, Metra. And apparently you swore when you heard. Michael's gone Elmina for the UNESCO site. I actually had a different one. Now, I think I gave people points for that before because there might be multiple UNESCO sites and I just stuffed it up, so... Michael, along with the other people who gave answers before, you get points for Elmina. The site I was actually looking for is Berg Paufelgrafenstein. So let's try the next one, which is, which castle was built by the Archbishop of Cologne in the 12th century? And Fürstenberg for the Archbishop question. No, it's a different one. Wonder if he built more than one. That's always possible, you know. Dave Randall gets it with a hostel, yes. So you're up to 420 now, Dave. It is a youth hostel. Is Stalbeck Castle. The Archbishop one, I'll give Michael points because maybe he made more than one castle. But the one I was actually after was Schloss Drachenberg. And that, I think, pretty much brings us to an end for this week. So I will see you on Thursday night my time, which will be in the morning for a lot of you, Thursday morning, for the first play of Niddle-a-Tabarn. And we'll run a 628 for Niddle-a-Tabarn. And just because I like it so much, I think I'll run one of the scenarios. It's one particular one that's really, really good, and I like it a lot. So I think that would be a good one to do. And this is a good spot to end our stream. So I shall see people on Thursday, I hope. I hope you've enjoyed the stream today. I hope you've had fun, everyone. And thanks for hanging around. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining in the quiz. And we shall see you next Thursday. And then following that on Sunday, I'm not sure if on what I'll do on Sunday. I'm not sure if it'll be one of the new TSC ones or if it'll be Niddle-a-Tabarn. We shall see. We shall see. I'm hoping for a TSC route to come out. Hasn't been released yet. Grumpy. Anyway, have fun, folks. See you later. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I always like to get your feedback in the form of likes and comments because they help me understand what you want. Give the channel a subscribe and click on the tinkly things so you don't miss out on any new stuff. And thanks for your ongoing support. And please, be safe out there.